Oh yeah, they've been celebrating and they are still celebrating increment, celebrating hardship, celebrating just everything against you because they are not feeling the brunt of those things. You are the ones who feeling everything. For them, they are nothing. So they celebrate in their good lives, in their good morning. They celebrate just in everything. They've got nothing to lose, but you have everything to worry. But it won't last long. No, because no crisis lasts long. Every crisis has an end. Where we find ourselves, it is a crisis. Political crisis, economic crisis, social crisis, just all the crisis in the home, crisis at the office, crisis on the business center table, crisis in the store, everywhere, crisis. People are just complaining and complaining, groaning in their hearts, crying. Some of their business just can't move. Things aren't just working. But the guys who have the decision to make, they aren't in any crisis whatsoever, but rather they in opulence life, they enjoying, they got nothing to lose. So they make you to feel you are stupid. They make you to think you are stupid of yourself. You should continue living in abject poverty, complain all day, every day, whole day, week in, week out, and they pretend that they're working in your interest. Why they are signing all of the millions concession agreements, their courts are in 500,000, uh, 200,000, and on, and their lives going well, fine. The politician daughter can wake up in the morning and say, Daddy, I don't like this car, I want to change it. And the daddy will say, which car of your choice? Go to whatever the car place and we'll get a new one to you. She comes back and say, I did a window shopping in this one, this car, I like it. It costs 10,000. The politician will just go open his safe, his home safe, not the bank safe, take that 10,000 United States dollars and give it to his daughter to go and get the car. They want you to think you are stupid. Why they celebrate? So let's talk about the issues this morning. We are on an obligation to make this country better, and it will get better no matter what. Under Joseph Yema Boakai, he is our employee. He didn't employ the people of Liberia. The people of Liberia instead employ him, and he is answerable to the people. He got no option. It is not a privilege. It is not a favor he is rendering the people of this country. No, he is on an obligation to serve. He has this cliche called think Liberia, love Liberia, build Liberia. So if he actually understands his own cliche, then he has to do the needful, because in that cliche, it explains his responsibility that he's obligated to the people. He signed or swore an oath to develop, and he must develop. And he said, we'll fix this country everywhere he goes. We'll fix this country. But the country is being fixed in corruption, nepotism, greed, discrimination, causing, justifying every wrong, not having a single thing of his own, does not have any signature. And it is unfortunate when you are alive, be it your personal life or institutional, once you don't have a signature, you are insignificant. The president can be insignificant, the senator can be insignificant, the employee in the office can be, in the institution, can be significant. Signature means what you have a vision and what people can talk about you. Boakai has got absolutely no signature. He is struggling for signature. When the second to the last public works minister took over, in a couple of months, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf paid a surprise visit, unannounced visit at the Ministry of Public Works. Fortunately for that female public works minister, she was in office. And as they came out to tour the Ministry of Public Works, and the minister would give an assessment of her work, a preview. At the close of the day, that means when it was time for former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to speak, she did not miss her words. What did she say? She looked in the face of the public works minister, a female. She said, "I've not seen your footprint," meaning you have no signature since I appointed you. There is nothing of your own you have created. Your vision is not seen. A leader is known by his vision. A leader, the people speak of the leader's vision. That means his signature project, what he initiates mentally and put into action. In the absence of that, you are insignificant, just as the president is insignificant. No disrespect to him, and that is not an insult. Insignificant means you haven't made progress. Rather, you are in the reverse, because Mr. President has got nothing. Absolutely. Everything Mr. President is feeding on everybody. Because the ambitious plan Mr. President and his people put in the campaign, they gave the impression that everything was going to be okay. We don't expect that under 2 years, you can do nothing. Every person who signed up to a responsibility, 1 year is not excuse of an insufficient time. 1 year is a sufficient time, which will take you into the second year and the third year. If nothing is seen of you in 1 year, then it means that you are insignificant. Okay, let's start with this one. Very interesting, humor interest, very interesting. This story, developing story, meaning there are more things coming up from this. That this is in Grand Capeman County, Zimin Bambela Public School in Grand Capeman County. Between 2024 and 2025, the reign of Joseph Yema Boakai, at the time of Joseph Yema Boakai, not 2019, not 2018, 2024, 2025, according to what is coming out. This is a developing story, meaning the first part is out, there is the second part and the third part. Things are coming out. So it is Boakai's era, not Weah era. This is Boakai's project. Between 2024 and 2025, 26 girls, 26, 2 and 6, 26 girls from this public school in Grand Capeman County, Bambala Public School, Zimi, Z-I-M-I, B-A-M-B-A-L-L-A, Zimi Zambala Public School, between 2024 and 2025, 26 girls got pregnant. 26. Whether they were pregnant or they got pregnant, or the boys in the school pregnated them, or they got the pregnancy from outside and took them into the school, it is a developing story. But the report has it that 26, 2024, 2025, 26 girls are pregnant, 26 in a school. Whether at the beginning either late and then it resulted to that, or they took it from outside from the other people, but they are students of Zimi Bambara School, and 26 of those girls pregnant. So what you think is responsible? Discipline is not properly in place. Supervision is not followed to the letter, or the school, the students are left to do their own thing, or discipline, supervision enhanced in the school, but they took their pregnancy from outside. Two ways. Maybe they took it from outside, and also it could be that they took it or they got pregnant from the school. 26 girls, not 5, not 10, 26. 26 girls. Then you want to know the enrollment of the number of boys and girls in that school. The interior schools are not jam-packed like urban institutions. No. The population, depending on the population and the position of that school, you have some with considerable students and you have some with less students. So if 26 girls are pregnant or got pregnant from this school, then you want to know the number of girls in that school and the number of boys in the school. Assume that 26 is half the girls in the school, or a quarter, or less than that, and it can be less. Then it will give you an understanding whether it was done mainly by the boys in the school, or it was either outside or inside. Some inside, some outside. You can get pregnancy from outside, you get in the school. You can get a pregnancy in the school, because the society now is everybody, every girl, some way, somehow, is attracted, is influenced, is drifted into some kind of group. Just look at society. Leave the interior for a while. Look at the city. 9 out of 10 girls, 9 out of 10 between the ages 13, 18, 19, not only exposed as per the culture, either have child or pregnant. That's the kind of culture we are in. If you look at society also carefully, you realize that the girls quick to give in, the quick to be enticed, and something could come up like pregnancy. But that's what it is. That is developing story we can share with you from Grand Cape Mount County. We'll give you more of that as time goes by. Ain't easy. Ain't easy. So the drug march is on Thursday. Today is the 6th Wednesday, and former LDEA head, former deputy LDEA boss Hassan Fadiga is saying that most of the drugs were seized in March of 2024 at checkpoint in Grand Cape Mount again. Most of the drugs were seized in March last year from Grand Cape County checkpoint. He also said that Bow Waterside is one of the notorious border crossing points in Liberia, where huge amount of drugs, dangerous drugs, like Kush and others, according to him, pass through from Sierra Leone. That's what he said. Grand Cape Mount, the checkpoints in Grand Cape Mount, they facilitate that huge amount of drug in March. He was in DEA. So this is not a stranger. This is not an outsider, but rather a person who, being in the system, was responsible for operations. Part of his responsibility is to supervise, move around, check on this, know what is this, what is coming in, and how the men are manning the various border. The operation man has so much work to do. His work is more tedious than the director himself. So if he is telling us that huge amount of drugs were seized at Grand Cape County checkpoint and Bow Waterside, one of the transit points, one of the areas by which drugs come into the country, then imagine the various border points. Those ones, those informal border points, those small area, we should have more than 1,000. The small area then, small area, not the main area, those small, like, let me use West Point, for example. They get different roads, but that's not the former road. The small road, when you pass through the area, you bracket on the other side, you go ahead. Those small roads then, in those towns, you ain't even counting them all. The ones he's talking about are the main checkpoints. Well, Liberian immigration officer, the other people, or let's just say joint security, they are all there. So when we tell you that these people who are coming out on tomorrow, these women, they just want to score political capital, or they are being used. And at the end of the day, the close of their protest, nothing absolutely will change, because the system is in place. The drugs are being smuggled. You don't need protests. It doesn't make sense. These women have to go and sit down. They are being used as court. They are being used as surrogates. Look what happened. Edwin Snow came with some of his people from ECOWAS and say they're moving around. They're moving around. They went to Center Street, eh? Yeah, that's Center Street. He and his people went to Center Street. They walk over 1, 2, 3, 4 graveyards. He and his ECOWAS people and say they're speaking to the young guys to stop drugs. Taking drug is bad. Imagine a senator reducing himself to that level. No amount of speaking to, no amount of what you will say in words stop the guys from taking drugs. They said at the legislature cannot implement anything rigid to cut off the various supply lines. The guys are importing. The drugs are coming into the country daily. They are not putting any mechanism in place. The borders are porous or vulnerable. The very people at the borders, The trade. I'm not using the word allegedly because a man who was in the system, deputy director, is telling us how these drugs are brought into the country with the acquiescence of checkpoints. They arrested some at the checkpoints, hidden Bowater side and other areas. And we know that we have a number, more than almost 2,000 illegal routes, those small roads by which you can pass it when you get behind your house, get behind the one and do your transaction. The other man using the other road to go, the other man using the other road on the other side. Now, when we're talking about that one, because these are some of the means. But the one the DEA, the former DEA was talking about, that one that on the road, everybody can see that checkpoint. So people coming in and out. So they know it is a syndicate. These women did not take their time up to do their own background investigation. Before you protest, you want to do, why are we protesting? What is it? What is the significance? What the government has done? Do we know the government effort? Do we know what the government did? Are we aware? Are we aware of the government's effort? Has the government made any report? You want to ask yourself all those questions. When you have that report, then you will know. It will inform your protest, if any. But you're going to protest. The people in DEA, they know. Some of the people in the government, they know what is unfolding. This is not a today thing. And these women know that it is not a today thing. They've been hearing about drugs being smuggled in the country through different means. The various ground ports, airports, seaports, all over. You can have that protest on tomorrow. It wouldn't stop the children from taking drugs. Neither will it stop drugs from coming into the country of all kinds. They are being smuggled. So what the guy is saying, that as much as it is the right of people to protest, the lawmakers themselves must implement comprehensive measures to stop the influx. That means the coming influx of dangerous drugs from Sierra Leone, from this other area, Ivory Coast, everywhere. That DEA man, former DEA man, the man being in a system. So the one we can't doubt this man. If an American or a Japanese or a French or an Italian came into Liberia and is finding out from a typical Liberian, that person would not doubt what that typical Liberian is telling him because he knows that that person is a citizen of this place and he's just a stranger. So he would not doubt because he has no knowledge, but rather will feed on the knowledge that is provided by the person who is living here. No one we can doubt this man because he been in the system. And you know what came out between he and Abraham Kurman? You know how the DEA had been. And you know when you are head of DEA and deputy, in the space of 2, 3, 4, 5 months, you reach, because that place, forget it. Even on the other side, they know what is going on. When you and I are sleeping, we're enjoying our sleep. Between 12, 31, we're snoring. The transaction going on. Do you know what happened at the various borders? Midnight. Government doesn't sleep. We go to bed, but government doesn't go to bed. The government functions 24/7. We go to bed because of our fatigue, but the government is up. When you are sleeping, too many things are happening at the various border points, seaports, airports. The drugs will continue to come into this country because it is a system. The people know what they are doing. But they make you to believe. That's why Bernie Spears say they want us to feel stupid. They think we are stupid. And that's how politicians, definitely, that's the core character of politicians. They are doing the act, but they will pretend to you like they are trying to stop it, yet they are fueling it. Now the man is telling us how the drugs are coming into the country. In essence, he is saying that it is a fruitless effort by these women to agree to stage a protest against drugs when you cannot protest against drugs. Because you cannot protest against drugs, so the government say they declare a national emergency, meaning it is a serious pandemic. So the government has taken full control of it and will use all of its creativity, money, energy, everything into it to clamp down on drugs. So it is the government's responsibility. You cannot protest against drugs. The man, look what Fadiga is saying. If some of these women just listen to Fadiga, I think if I were part of them, I would say, well, there's no need. I'm going to sit down. Because it would make no difference whatsoever. It will make no difference. This is an age-old thing. This is one of the things this country is surviving on. It is in twofold, I should let you know. You see what we are talking about? It's the surface, the petty one. Then the politician will create a scene, and that's the scene you see now. They make you to believe that the drug damaging the young people, they are saying this, they are doing that. So you're focusing on Kush, you're focusing on those others, but why you focusing on Kush and focusing on the young people and shouting young people kill, the drugs killing young people, the mean drugs, the mean ones that going for thousands, millions, the trade is going on the other side. So they divert your attention on the petty ones, which you scream and shout and yell every day, so that you will not know the bigger ones. That's how it is done all over the world. That's how they trade. Who told you that it is only Kush? They make you to believe that Kush and other drugs are the ones that are killing the people. But before Kush, there have been different kinds of drugs in this country. Everything is just metamorphosizing, meaning it's taking on different shape. But that's the same drugs. But they make you to believe that Kush. So you only got to know Kush in your mind. What's the other one? Y'all help me with some of the names, please. But they are trading. They are trading the bigger ones, to say it that way. The ones with 250,000, 2,000, 1 million, 3 million. You think all of these people in this country, all of the people in the system, you think everybody normal? You think you see everybody doing normal things, but not everybody normal. That means people are in different trades. And one of them is drugs. But they will make you to think that the young people are the ones who are gone loose with these drugs. They're just taking it. Where the drugs coming from? The young people flew in the sky and brought all the drugs, or they themselves went and took drugs? No. Until they can be supplied, they were not. So they're receiving the drug because they are being supplied. So you want to go to the supplier, or you want to cut the supply line. Who told you the government is not aware? The government knows. Why they have not put stringent measures in place to ensure that drugs don't enter the country? DEA man, former DEA man telling us the thing comes through the various border points. That business, the man coming in with the drugs, the DEA man, All the John security people there, they know what's up. The American, he gave about 15,000 United States dollars. He knows how many profit he's going to get. He will get his 15,000 United States dollars back, and he will have excess profit. So it doesn't matter if he bribed the John security there with 15,000. That's how it is. Where the children are not producing the drugs, they are receiving. Okay, for fun, I say thank you, Spark. There's another one, called Spark. They are receiving. They are not producing. They are not the ones that are producing the drugs. They are receiving. And there should be a supplier for receive. If there is no supplier, there will be no receiver. The children are not the ones, the young boys and the young girls that Snow and ECOWAS people went to on yesterday at Center Street Graveyard to see and speak to. They are not the ones who are the producers of drugs of all kinds. They are only the receiver and victims. Here is a senator being in that place, that legislature, for pretty close to 20 years, knows exactly how the drug had been a widespread thing in this country. But you would not hear anybody that we need to do this, we need to do that. They say they have drug law, that when it catch you the drug is second-degree felony, you go to 7 years in jail. That is not the mechanism. That is too weak. You want to create stringent measures at various border points and airports. Even as that one, it is Liberia, we're now way. Two, that is a high core business that works with syndicate, people who are grounded. Yeah. The DA boss feeling with his own. The what party guy said, that it is from the same people. Then let's go to what I consider the impossible for Joseph Yuma Boakai and the office of the Ombudsman. This is an impossible task. Joseph Yuma Boakai does not have the balls to do that. To do it is to say that let my government crumble. The office of the Ombudsman is recommending, or has recommended to President Joseph Boakai, to dismiss the following officials I'm about to call their names for violating sections 5.1a, b, c, and 5.8 of the Code of Conduct. Before we get that, start calling the names, let's have this break. Let's take this break very briefly, please. Very briefly. we can hold on, my boy. Hold up. You're listening to Let's Talk About It on Kings 88.5. With me, Sam Andrew, sitting in for Israel Ball. We are here, your host, who isn't feeling well. He's on the weather. These are the names that the office of the Ombudsman has recommended to President Boakai that they should be dismissed immediately for violating the Code of Conduct, sections 5.1a, b, c, and 5.8. Emmanuel Tule, board chairman, LEC. Kopo Kra, Minister of Labor, Councillor Kopokra, Minister of Labor. Lucia Yala, Environmental Protection Agency. Emmanuel Zor, Ministry of Labor. Luther Tape, Pastor Luther Tape, Chairman, Unity Party, and Board Chair, National Port Authority, Pastor Luther Tape. The man who said, and I will look for that clip today, if that's the only thing I would do, I would do that, to find that clip for 3 days afternoon when he focused most part of the discussion on George Weah, that George Weah drug the young people of this country. Luther Tape, Pastor Luther Tape, Unity Party Chairman, and Board Chair, National Port Authority. Amos Tue, FPRC Managing Director. Cornelia Wonkele Kura Tukpa, the Labor Minister Councillor Kopokra. This is his daughter, Cornelia Kra Tukpa. I think it says she divorced the guy, so she carrying her father's name. Yeah, that's why I heard that she divorced the guy. She said the guy was not up to her standard, even though they were struggling together. But you know, this whole thing, the same thing that people can say, Liberian women can complain. They say, oh, when a man, you struggle with a man, when by the time the man start doing something, he start getting money, then he can say, we're not compatible. The women too can do the same. And she said, she and the man, they're not compatible. We want to be woman now, you know. So that's what I learned, that's what I heard, because her name was Tukpa. So she using her father's name, Cornelia Wonkole Kra. Deputy Minister of State, Ministry of State. Warren Bryant, Montserrat County Superintendent. Emmanuel Farr, he's the Deputy for Administration, National Fire Service. Sheikh Mustafa Kuyate, Ministry of State, Ambassador in the Corridor. Ben Fofana, Ministry of State. Edward Ford, National Transit Authority. He's the head of the National Transit Authority, Edward Ford. Toga Melvin Sivers, NTA, National Transit Authority. Toga Melvin Sivers. Lucia Tape, Development Superintendent. Development Superintendent, Montserrat County. Robert Bestman, Painesville City Mayor. James Yole, Ministry of Internal Affairs. Collins Tamba, Ministry of Youth and Sports. Selina Mappe, Ministry of Internal Affairs. Kansua, Liberia Special Economic Zone. Liberia Special Economic Zone. Kuku Dobo, Liberia Special Economic Zone. Jacob Smith, Jacob Smith, one of the deputies, LPRC, Jacob Smith. Well, he didn't want the last one. Ansu Dole. Ansu Dole. That's NDMA. Magdala Cooper. Magdala Cooper, Ministry of State. Magdala Cooper, Ministry of State. Magdala Cooper, Ministry of State. Kevin Matadi, Ministry of Commerce. And we save this one for last. The man who has made We Are his project. The man who has been indoctrinated, initiated into causing Deputy Information Minister for Public Affairs. So he has now, you can refer to him as Deputy Information Minister for Causing Affairs and not Public Affairs, because Public Affairs means you disseminate, you are the liaison between the public and the government, you disseminate. That's why the law makes him the deputy, the principal deputy to the Minister of Information. In the absence of the Minister of Information, the Deputy Minister for Public Affairs goes to disseminate government's information or government policy. But he has been indoctrinated into the causing. And the man in a law school, can you imagine? I don't know whether he has left the law school. So the man causing 24/7. He's made We Are his project. Daniel Osano, Deputy Minister of Information Public Affairs. Daniel Osando, Deputy Minister for Public Affairs. Daniel Osano. All of them refuse to comply with the code of conduct. Yesterday, they were checkmating. They were querying. They were lambasting. They were cursing. They were quoting the entire code of conduct to officials of the Congress for Democratic Change. They were sounding very loud that those officials of George Weah were violating the code of conduct for public officials. In fact, they said that under George Weah, the code of conduct was just a mere document, meaning they did not see it, Weah officials did not see it as a national document. It had no substance because they were not in accordance with the code of conduct. Today, Boaka officials, most of Boaka officials, this is Boaka Ume, Finlay Kanga, who heads the ombudsman, the office of the ombudsman, is a Unity Party partisan, a strong and ardent supporter of Joseph Yuma Boakai. So this is the ombudsman, is Unity Party ombudsman. Now, Unity Party is saying our officials, some of our officials are in clear violation of the code of conduct. So Boakai dismiss these people. This is a difficult task. Can Boakai dismiss all of these people? This is almost half the government. So Finlay Kanga is wasting his time. But thank God that it is happening in their time the same way they were condemning and criticizing Weah officials, allegedly, not even alleged, they criticize, they condemn for not upholding the code of conduct. What the various sections say was the one that they violated. Let me share that with you. Okay, this is for political parties. Let's escape the names in this. This is section 5.1. Section 5.1. Isn't that what they quoted as reasons for? Yeah, section 5.1, A, B, and C, and section 5.8. So let me go to that provision of the code of conduct for public officials, questions for the investigation. All right. So what it said, the investigation reviewed the pieces of evidence presented by the National Elections Commission, the complaints letter from concerned members of Unity Party, the complaint letter from Amos Wowa, citizen of Liberia and member of Unity Party, and the attachment thereon, the prohibition petition filed by Unity Party, the Movement for Democracy and Reconciliation, the African Liberation League, Mr. Kansualizim B. Kansua and Anthony at Law, Ansu V. S. Dolly, Councillor Emmanuel Tule, Honorable Daniel Sano, and Honorable Jacob Smith testimonies, the signing of the Code of Conduct by some of the defendants on 13 December 2024, the 13th February 2025 ruling of the Supreme Court of Liberia, the oral complaints from citizens and residents of Liberia, along with the testimony of Mr. Boa, to contemplate the positive questions. In the end, the two questions are identified to resolve the matter of political participation, namely recommendations and remedial actions. 8.1. The Code of Conduct mandates the ombudsman to investigate on its own initiative or on complaint filed by any person or organization in violation of the Code of Conduct by public and private officials and employees of government. Thus, the Ombudsman investigated based on complaints and on its own initiative allegations of Section 5.1a, b, and Section 5.8. Yeah, please stop calling the line. It doesn't make sense. If you do that, I will not open the line for anybody. I will talk and go. You stop. Listen to common sense. You can be condemning other people and you're not applying common sense. Did you hear me say, let's go to the line, huh? Or because you're so obsessed to start talking what I'm explaining? You wait for me, let me finish. You're always doing that. You start ringing, all the lines ringing. Listen to common sense. Once the person say the lines are open, don't call. When they say the lines are open, then you call, meaning you have that approval. Section 8.2. The Code of Conduct carries a single penalty for the violation of Part 4. It uses the mandatory language shall, and notes that after due process is accorded, the violator, only that penalty can be imposed. The code states at Section 5.9 that any public official after due process who is found guilty of violating any provision of this section shall be immediately removed from the position or office held by him or her, and thereafter no part of the funds appropriated by any law for such position or office shall be used to pay compensation for such person. Clear? Clear. This is it. So, yeah, now Boakai is in another embarrassing position. I know he's scratching his head. Boakai is in an embarrassing position and he has to face it because that is the Code of Conduct, except he will tell us that he does not recognize the Code of Conduct, just as he said he does not recognize the Supreme Court. He will do as he wishes. The Code of Conduct, that area is clear that any public official after due process, that means the law says you must give them due process, and all of these people, as per the complaints that were brought against them, they were given due process. It even went to the highest of the land called the Supreme Court. 5.1, the investigation reviewed the pieces of evidence presented by the National Elections Commission. Next issue, the complaints letter from concerned members of Unity Party. They raise issue also. The complaint letter from Mr. Amos Boa, citizen of Liberia and member of the Unity Party, their own man, and the attachment thereon. The prohibition petition filed by Unity Party, they did that. The movement for democracy and reconstruction, they also moved to raise concern against this. That led to the ombudsman taking the action, having investigated the African Liberation League, Mr. Kansuale Zimbi Kansua, and Anthony at Law, Ansu V.S. Dolly, Councillor Emmanuel Tule, and on and on. So Bwakana has to act. The law says these people are in clear violation of the law, nothing conditional. So you have to dismiss them. Bwaka will have to do that. He placed himself in a terrible, embarrassing position because he has no grip of the leadership or his own government. Everybody doing their own thing. It is a shame and it is a disgrace. If I were President Bwaka, I would even bear my head down and say, look, I messed up. Because this is one of the things they had yesterday. The code of conduct. Which government official here now that did not criticize we are people for violating the code of conduct and did not criticize we are himself for not implementing fully the code of conduct? Why some of the officials are in line with the code of conduct? Because they know, and some of them know that they criticized CDC officials yesterday. So here is it now. Due process was given. That's what the law requires. Due process was given. A full, impartial, comprehensive investigation was conducted. The findings are not manufactured. They are not make up. They are the reality of these government officials I named to you. And the Lord said, the portion that the ombudsman is acting upon, and it said, any public official after due process, the law says you must get in due process. That means let them go and explain themselves. The claim against them, they have the right to give their own side. Any public official after due process who is found guilty of violating any provision of this section shall be immediately removed from the position or office held by him or her, and thereafter no part of funds appropriated by any law for such position or office shall be used to pay compensation to such person. Simply, no more. Not because you serve in the area, so the money not because of they, then they give you your mark. They will not compensate you because of violation. You go sit down. So we wait. Bwaka will have to do it. Bwaka will have to do it. The international community, the partners here, all of the embassies, they have this document. They know. It is not when you stop people from protesting on July 17, then it means that you are a leader, you have things under control. Then the people will say, the partner will say, yeah, Bwaka keeping the country secure, Bwaka is there, Bwaka is good at. No. You violated, you are aware that you have violated almost all the laws. You have become a dictatorial, tyrannical, despotic leader. Now you're in another situation that you have to face it head on. So we're waiting to see, just as you told the Supreme Court, you recognize the Supreme Court. Let's see where you're not recognized. They want yeah, you the main implementer. If you can do nothing about it and your officials go about violating, living the kind of life they want to do as public officials, political, whatsoever, then we know that one man, that dictatorial president we have. Now everybody will go about doing their own thing as government officials, and we'll just leave it. We'll be highlighting, documenting them. When the time comes, we open up. But that's what came up. Yeah. what's the other provision I think I need to share with you? Yes. 5.1, we read it. Yeah, 5.1 from that document. 5.1, 5.8. Amen. And not easy. So that's it. That's it. Let's move on. We've got other issues to talk about. This one has started to make rounds. So, yeah. But the government can do that. The government can, under no circumstance, can it do that. But it's very important, very key. Yeah, I think this is what AB was showing you people last night about the iconic icon, George Manawia. That hey, man, it's charismatic, magnetic. Yeah, the man is enjoying his post-presidency. uh, I've little laugh last day when AB was talking about this thing. And that's true. Yeah, you. Some people say, "Oh, we was wrong. We was there. We was that." You see, Bwaka is the president, but Bwaka is not enjoying his presidency, and the reason is simple. Just one reason: he came to the presidency the wrong time. He had already aged, so even after his presidency, he will not even enjoy it. You see, that's why God said, "Get in, get it done right, and get out," so that you enjoy your life. God created the war in a way that, and He gives life such that you enjoy it. You make the maximum use of it. God did not create a war and a human being for people to just live in suffering, worrying, stress. That's why He said, "Can the many worries add a single hour to your life?" You stay there, just like Paul Biya, 93 years old. 93, he said, the man can hardly stand by himself. That is a curse. It is a blessing when you serve well, you out. It creates the unique, blessed atmosphere for a return. Is that a man enjoying his life? Other presidents around the world that left, they enjoying their life. Prime ministers, they enjoying their life. They stay in their prime. They enjoying their life. Service simply means get in, get it done right, and get out, which will propel you to do a full examination of yourself and everything, ready to come back. Simple. But if you stay there ever so long, nothing. That's why giving GMB hard time and making him to the presidency already age. Nothing there again. Fighting hard to dance. The presidency, sometimes that is tradition. You got to dance, but you don't allow Bwaka to be dancing. Yeah, that risks, so you're taking risks. The day he falls, that when we're talking, I want to say we're against, so we can get our advice early. Our Kings FM, we try the best we can. We're helping this country. This country is our country. Bwaka is our president. We'll not agree on everything, but we're helping. You allow Bwaka to be dancing, you're putting him on dance floor. When you fall down, singing away, that about everyone will collect. All of y'all will put you in jail and get ready to put you on trial for risking the president's life. And he told him, sit down there, he said he acting like B-boy. The hard life looking, you reach certain age, no matter what you didn't do in your prime, you can do it. You can do it now because the time for that passed. It is the normal. That's how God set the world. You will not do the things that require you to do in your aged life. The other ones then is for the generation that coming up. So you see how society looks. Okay. So let's go now. Let's talk this thing and then we can turn to you to have your say. Just those 3 pointers: the drug ombudsman and these Kalasco say a mental control to Kalasco. The politics that okay. So a formal announcement is not out yet, but it seems it might come. But under no condition will it take any route. No, it will not. But the pastors, most of the pastors are jittering. Some of them are quiet. Some are in support of it, that churches ought to be regulated. That means, just like AB told you last night, the permit is conditional. Permit is conditional, and any men are legal men. So when he's saying those things, you got to look at it from that perspective. Yeah. Too many things. When you are giving permit, the permit goes with condition that you will be told to do XYZ and not to do XYZ. And you will not accept the condition or accepting all of the condition or conditions. There where the confusion will come. Nobody can restrict church. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, let me get her statement. Former President Sirleaf said something, and I think most of what you are hearing today came from what the orator said and what Ellen Johnson Sirleaf said. Let's take this break. Let me get that statement. I want to read it word for word.
That I had decided that I would make no money during the presidency of Liberia, but after the presidency, I will move on my farm. And this was a smart thing that I did. This is why I've never opened any bank account anywhere. And when you hear me boasting, I am damn certain I have no bank accounts anywhere. I wanted to leave office with a record of having served my people. Yes, I'm guilty of patronage. I helped our people. It is an African tradition. I helped a lot of people, but I did not squander the wealth of my people for my personal use. It would never be found. And I wanted to really do what I think former President Jimmy Carter did. I think Carter has accomplished more outside of the presidency than he was president. My children cannot travel to see me, so they have restrictions, which I think is a violation of their rights. Some of them are stuck in places where they cannot move because they need permission, and so it's a lot of problems. But I was not held in the United States for any crime. Extradition, the only thing that has to be determined in the case of extradition are two questions. One, is there a treaty? If yes, two, if that person is returned to his country, would his rights be observed? Those are the only two questions. I do not think the United States was comfortable with me returning to Liberia. And I was held in a maximum security setup. And I was not a soldier. I've never been a soldier in my life. And a lot of people helped me to get out.
Mr. President, would you like to visit the U.S. again?
I would like to. I think for a Liberian, unless you have it rightly made with the United States, unless they understand you and you understand them, I think there will always be problems and Liberia would not develop. So as a former president and one who in the future will have a role in Liberia, it is important for me to go. I respect the United States. It's the world's only superpower. So I think being quote unquote in good books with them, I think is good for not just for me, but for Liberia.
This is what former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf said, her post analysis of the orator's address, specifically on the church when he gave his position. Former President Sirleaf said, Liberia has too many churches whose main purpose is money. That's what she said. Liberia has too many churches whose main purpose is money. Whether we like it or not, but it's true. That's a way of impoverishing the public and the people. Nobody is against churches. Nobody is against prayers. But you have to have a system because churches get a lot of free things in the country. She goes further. Some churches get duty-free privilege because they are churches. What do they do with those duty-free privileges? Do they use it for church matters? We don't want to get to the stage where we do the Kigami approach. Kigami closed all churches. We don't want to go that far. So, the churches themselves, the main churches that have been here, the Council of Churches need to address this problem. Because if they do not address it, it may not be today, but it will be addressed. And somebody will come and be very extreme in the policy decision they take. So the churches should push themselves through the Council of Churches. That was Ellen's analysis of the orator's address, specifically that portion there. She touched on every sector he talked about, but that was the religious side, that churches are just mess up, too many of them, just for money, and on and on. I think former President Sirleaf's statement was strong more than the orator. So everything that you're hearing now, everything that you're hearing is coming up from the orator, who is, I think, a Methodist or Baptist, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who is also a Methodist, a Baptist, and most of the people are in those churches who are holding key positions in government. I do not want to question their religiosity. It is not for me to do that. I'm not sounding judgmental at all, but what I can say is they wield so much power, influence, and decision making. Whether they understand the spiritual implication or not, whether they understand the constitutional implication or not, but what I can say, and it's what I'm saying, that they wield so much influence. Many, when they say something, because they are very many with the decision making, it can go. What cannot allow them to do as the one or to see happening is the law. Because our Constitution says nothing of such. It doesn't give the government the right to regulate. Neither does it say the government can formulate a provision by which churches are regulated. The Constitution is secular. It incorporates and respects all beliefs and systems, religions. Hence, they are left to regulate themselves. Just like the guys from Kenya, I like that. Let me share with you their position. The same thing came out. This is the last pointer, just 3 pointers we've got this morning. Sorry, we started a bit late because we had some technical issues in studio. We had to deal with it, but it's better late than never. What is important is the show should come on, because you will devote your time, your energy, you use your resources to come on. So we cannot in any way disappoint you. 2 hours, few minutes, more than sufficient time in broadcasts. So on the 3 topics, these 3, and then we are out. Let's go. Let me bring you something. The same thing came up in Kenya, and the president moved in to dismiss it immediately. I'm using this guy because our president is weak. Our president is weak. It's very likely the president alone, he will agree, because he's just there. Anything the people say, he accepts. He isn't the kind of president we have that shows leadership. If he ever shows leadership, it's leadership for the wrong reason that affects the country. And that leadership is vindictive. So here is it. The Kenyan president, it came up the same way, just like it is out today. The man went and said, no, it doesn't make sense. How can you regulate? How can you tell churches that they ought to do this, they ought to do that? It does not make sense at all. And what they did, they counsel a group of people who felt they had the voice, just like you have a certain people, politicians, pastors mixed too, because there are some pastors who just think that the churches are too many. They hold to that belief. They feel that they should be the ones, their churches should be the only churches to exist. And because they are well-to-do, they are aristocratic churches, they are mainline, most of their members are in key government positions, and because of their religiosity, so the churches are too many, just as it was in the days of old. When I say in the days of old, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, when you have few churches because of the population, so that myopic mindset is what they still have today. They are not looking at the fast evolving of society and the widening of the space, because they have few churches, and it is based on that. You see the country today. That's how the country, you see the country lay out. So they were operating as per their population, their mindset. So they have few churches those days, and those are the few churches you still see today. When I say few, I mean the ones who think they can make the decision. Listen to the Kenyan president, and then we can give you the right to have your say.
The president.
Apart
from what the Constitution provides, we are a God-fearing nation, and we will equally defend our faith. As Christians, as different religions, we will make sure that we protect the freedom of worship in Kenya. And I want to ask those who have ideas to allow religious leaders themselves to develop how they want to regulate themselves and how the church, how religious organizations are going to go forward. Because that was the recommendation of the task force I appointed under Reverend Mutaba Mushimi, that the religious body.
President Bwaka can't take this decision this man took. Look in the face of everybody and say no. The churches should regulate themselves. Government cannot. It doesn't make sense. If it's level Bwaga alone, what these mainline people are suggesting, you will do it. Interestingly, the Constitution can allow
Kenya
it.
will decide how they want to make sure that the freedom of worship in Kenya is protected. And I want to give assurance to the church and to the religious institutions in Kenya that we will defend the right and the freedom of worship in Kenya, and it will not be compromised in whatsoever manner.
That's it. So that's why the news that you're hearing, I am convinced there where it is evolving from. Assume that was Reverend Dr. Emmett Dawn was not the orator. Another person, and no mention of religion or church. You wouldn't have heard this. Remember now, oration is simply a challenge, pieces of advice, followed by recommendation or suggestion. Oration is just to stir you up. The orator picks up things from society. Yeah, the address is always thematic. This sector, that sector, that sector, put all together. So you hear him talk about the judiciary, talk about opposition government relationship, talk about the church, talk about those various areas. Just a challenge. So it's left with the government to say, yes, what this person said, what the orator said in his oration, I think is the problem that is affecting this sector. So let's address it. This one he talked about, the church is this, is doing that. So let's look at it. And since the churches, by our understanding, too many, let's try to move with the regulation, issuing permit. That's what it's all about. But it came from that side. Everything that you're hearing in the grapevine, it came from that side. It didn't evolve from the Pentecostal side. And before we get to the line, let me tell you this. Don't get jittered. Those of you who are feeling uncomfortable, don't get jittered. No, it doesn't make sense. The churches are not many. The churches ought to be many. The churches are small. Yeah, if you are a Christian, know it. The church is not the building. The church, the people. So let's assume in that legislature, you have 73 persons in the House of Representatives, and 70 are Christians. You have 70 churches right there. 30 in the Senate. Let's assume 29 are Christians. You have 39 churches. When they say church, it means the person. That the definition, it means the person, nothing else. So the churches are many, and the churches ought to be many, because here is God's definition. St. Andrews is the church, and St. Andrews' responsibility is to reach out to another person and turn that person into a church. So if St. Andrews did that, what happened? There are 2 churches. That person too will do the same thing, 3 churches. That person do the same, 4 churches, just like that. So how can you regulate individuals? That's what the church is. When you're saying church, you're saying the person. If you are a Christian, the New Testament presents the church as individual. So these people, they don't know what a church is. Everybody is religious, but not everybody has a biblical understanding. Religious means, yes, you were born into a Christian family, or either your mind was this, your father was Christian or so, or You're just flowing along. You are in that sector. But it doesn't say that you have biblical knowledge. When they say church, it means individual. So that's why they can call corporate worship, meaning individuals come together in one place and then they are unto God. So assume 5 persons gather under a structure. You got 500 churches. So those 500 churches now ought to produce 500 churches. So you have, if 500 churches produce 500 churches, you have 1,000 churches. And what happened at the end of the day? What God say? He say the world will come to an end, but everything depends on the church. That means individual person. So you don't bother when people saying these things. They boy know you can blame them. Yeah, I beg you don't blame them. So let's turn to you now. You're listening to and watching. Let's talk about it on Kings 88.5. I'm Sam Andrew sitting in for Israel, but we are seeing who is under the weather. He can be, hopefully, we all hope and pray that he recovers in time so that he will be on tomorrow. Many of you are missing him. I can see your comment. Kevin Soko says speedy recovery, Israel. Yes. Let's see. By God's grace, Israel will be in tomorrow. He stuffing all the medications. Boy, yo. Let's go there. Let's go to the line the rest of the time for you people. Express yourself. We talk 3 things. Please don't go out of what I did not talk or bring out. I talk about the drug situation, the office of ombudsman, the 26 girls, the developing story that got pregnant in Grand Kidman County, Zimi, Zambala School, and the church. Hello? Hello? You are on, Chief. Hello? Hello? You are on the air. Okay, y'all hold on, please. I beg you. Let me see. Let me consult the technician. I think something just not right here. Hello. So, hello. Hello. Now it seems we're having a problem, so we'll use the alternative line. Since we have few minutes to go, then the rest of the time the technician will look at it. So let's use the alternative line. Use 0776 36 40 45. Let's try that in the next few minutes. 0776 36 40 45. Hello. Oh, you went off. If we can try that, it will help, I think. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Huh?
This is Emmanuel King calling my father's seminary.
Yeah, let's hear you, Emmanuel.
Yes, my extension has been.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you guys think people are running yesterday. Then they were all around behind yeah, and six years, the rappers, the phone, the media, the talking, all kinds of things. You know what they do? And we are not dumb. I want to go see. But that's not the truth. As a religious people, Now, it's the best thing that let us take that.
Okay.
Let us put very soon check it. Then next time somebody will not let when 100 check in one community.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Morning, Sam.
Yeah.
Morning.
Good morning. Good
Hello?
morning. You are on, Chief. All right. You're not getting me? Then let's go with 07777 980375. 07777 980375. Let's use that 07777 980375. Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Andrew, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I think one better on Lana. This is Boma William, and I join you from Antoshi 13 yesterday this morning.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Mr. Andrew, let me say thanks to you for the total discussion this morning. You see, concerning about the churches or registration, like what the government is about to do, I think yesterday the president had a holiday here that we should go to our churches, we should go to our mosques to fast and pray for the country. So, if the government, I thought the churches or the mosques or the Islamic religion is an organization established within this country. You got a Muslim council, you got a Christian or association council in this country. But now, if the president will want to come out to say every churches or mosque should go and obtain permit. So for me, I think it is not bad, but tomorrow, if the president will want for any church or mosque to pray for the country, meaning that he got to pay them for it. He got to pay them for it because they see,
All right.
you know, the president said, if you cause the devil, you're the devil with the devil. So I think the president will do anything possible to go and do the church or the mosque. They will not agree with that.
Thank you, sir.
For the time.
Thank you. Let's go. Hello.
Good morning, my brother said you.
Good morning, man. CC, Dr. Man CC.
Thank you, the ambassador. Also, I have that too.
Ambassador.
Okay.
Ambassador. Well, what I important you, ambassador?
Yes, so he's talking to me, so I made me ambassador.
Okay.
But it's not be at the martial ground.
All right.
Thank you for the show, my sister. I just said it all. Look, you hear the Kenya president, right? Look at the decision. For the government say, Mondu never fire to you. 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 Mondu never fire. You know that's what I'm saying? The government. This is what you do for you. Your reward will come for you. This is what happening now. This is what in the rain and sun for Bwaka. He pay up our evil. What do the man have to expect for the 7 years, for the 8 years? Today he are paying up back. Instead of churches to go and just get paid before they pay up in this country. Even the men of God chancellor will so get to the extent you respected God in this country. Say until you were here.
Yeah, child. Yeah.
On his knee. I can't go down on his knee and ask for forgiveness from one for the wickedness he did to the people. And he begged God, you go for the prayer, and will get on his feet. And you stood on his knee in your white clothes to tell you yes, you were ready to work with the people. Well, what can you brought this today for us? It's what I say us today. So they don't be a worker, the Muslim, the Christian, be a worker, or people worker, or worker will do that, do this, so they will be a base. That's what you want to do. What you want to say, let it pay what they know. Say, I'll do just this, let it pay the money. Let it pay the money. Let it pay the money. What are you saying for? I hear them say, oh, we're Joe, bro. What pastor? Okay, Joe. You know what he's dead, hey, we'll go rally for, we're Joe, bro. Pastor, you get it there now. No, what a pastor told us that it will be a problem with drink dead water. They have reached a day. They have reached a day. You will fire blood and walk around and listen to anybody. They want money from everywhere because they have so much money and they want it to the safe. So they want money from everywhere.
But my CCO, they want money from it. They will get it. The Bible, they want buy that curse. That one by the government said that that's small thing they will experience. That one God can get very bad way. When you try regulating God, he can get very bad way inflict pain on the country.
Yes, you want people go house, then they must come and You call it on Muslim, you say you have control of police. Even the podcast say moral boy. I'm not seeing anyone in the country. So then you get everything in the country. And you know, definitely, they also everything in the country.
All right, Dr. Mansisi.
Thank you, my son.
Thank you so much. Have a nice midweek.
Thank you, Sam. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you. This is Hussein Kewu. I called you from District 11 at Disville.
Hussein.
Yeah, Sam.
Man, I read something about you yesterday. Somebody said that your sickness increased, that you weren't moving, and a radio station was raising funds for you.
so like I always said, I'm doing well by His grace. Yeah, I'm listening to my medication. So thanks be to God. Yeah, Sam. So to the talking point. My concern has to do with regulations the government is bringing in with the churches and mosques. So I was doing a research and I noticed that even in the great United States, churches get permit from the government, even the mosques. In Nigeria, in Kenya, in other countries, the churches will seek permit from the government. It is not a means of getting revenue. But you same from the Christian background. People open church now these days only because they want to get funding from the ordinary people. And government regulates the opening of churches now, not to get revenue for them, but to ensure that you not have too many churches in the place. Even you talk about public disturbance.
All right, Hussein.
Yeah, so I think it's a good step for other governments to do.
So let me ask you before you go off the air. Since you and other people are making reference to other countries like America, Nigeria, and other things you're talking about, so lower your radio, lower the radio, Chief. There's another radio on.
Yes, I'm in transit.
Okay, so those countries have gays and lesbians. Should we also have gays and lesbians, or the government approving gays and lesbians? Saying you're using countries as justification.
No, Sam. But why you really want to mention that? Sam?
No, but every culture is different. Every culture, it doesn't say because it is in this place, so it should be in your country.
Far beyond that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so we go far beyond that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hope that you get well soon. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my name is Mohammed Kamara, man. I always play your listening role by joining for the township of West Point. I always play your listening role, but I just constrained to call this morning. Something before me this morning about the church paying tax or whatsoever. You see, sometimes we come on public radio, you should know your own situation. Don't go to see research on what places like research on. They have provided subsidies to favor churches. Places like America that you want to reference.
Yeah, that's true.
Me. So that be fair into the discussion. When the government telling you that they don't have contact, they don't have means of getting money or lobbying for the citizens, that they just tell, we in the mosque, we can pay, please be live for the government to help them to pay the government official. Because this money they are trying to generate is not in the interest of the common people. They're only doing it to get a fat salary to pay minister 50,000, 20,000, but it's not there for development purpose. So they're only wasting money to enrich themselves and pay a mansion and other things.
All right,
thank you very much.
Hello.
Yeah. Good morning, Sanju.
Good morning.
Yes, it's all about calling for justice. Thank you very much. Sanju, I will tell you this morning, market from today. Let me tell you that churches where the broker and government one and you get permit. You're talking about it. That my Sunday class, the people want to bring lesbian in the country very get their money. That information we hear a long time in America. They said that the only way they will get their money, the rich people in America, where doing lesbian and gay. That the rich in the one pass in the way say all the church will get permit. Market today if I talk about that. They will catch a fire. You say the one coming from Joseph.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. I see why the people say politics and religion are two fluid elements. So everybody, we talk about the drugs, we talk about the 26 girls that the developing story, the state coming up, got pregnant in Great Kidman County from Zimbi, Bambala school, and other issues. Everybody just focusing on church. They think it's not going to work. You don't get sentimental about it, but you have the right to express your view. It's not going to work. Yeah, no, under no circumstance. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Sam.
Yes, good morning.
I'm James Lyman Kamara from the Liberian Civil Rights Movement. Thank you very much this morning for your presentation, or your 3 points of presentation. Let me firstly comment on the religious issues that the government has just initiated. According to them, they have initiated conversation leading to that. So they are contemplating on, churches should be, or mosques should be, permitted before they can function in the republic. So this has just showing that these guys are inviting the wrath of God upon them, because our country, you cannot restrict our religious people. People have the right under the Constitution to be able to practice, to exercise their religious, beliefs. Then you come and you want to restrict them. Then you are even violating the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. So that indeed our policy cannot work when that rights have been given. They have been given inalienable rights under the Constitution. So they should just know that it can work. So the issue of the 26 girls that got infected, our society now is not easy, my brother. It's just on the same government, because government do not able to generate revenue to be able to expend those revenue in the best interest of the people in terms of solving the needed problems that will be able to alleviate suffering from our people. Government don't take in that direction, but to carry factor and help them and their family. So this is why you see these guys will be in school at the end of the day, having boyfriends to support them. So at the end of the day, many will be impregnated because the educational system, there's no facility. The educational system is
Okay, sir.
group of people. Yeah. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right. Hello.
Hello?
Lower your radio, please. You want to lower the radio when you call so that you understand yourself and we can understand you. If not, just lower the radio, then you can call. Hello? Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
We just about calling from Jacob Rehab. My concern do with it's about when I see it. That is not well. The rain is too much. Y'all please let God be with y'all. Let God be with y'all. The way you always for us. Now do not small work. So let God be with y'all. That people to the issue of Joseph Walker, he will not start people. Because if they want to start people, they will start do the stuff too. No. I told you that you're not starting people. So you would just talk and sit down again. Let God bless you in Jesus' mighty name.
Amen. Thank you, Sabato. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That my best.
My blessing. How's you? Morning. Are you all right?
I'm telling you that one family.
Yeah.
Money. You made my day. Hey, Baga. The man will confuse. If he can't go, bring warrior, what man, anything. Okay, man, quick fire, go for cattle in the bush and bring out what hater, what shirt, what t-shirt, what handkerchief. But Baga, what he not say, what for devil? The man will say, I will pray for you, son. But I need I will pray for you. Yeah, we just have to pray for you. They say for that. Say for that for what is that? I put one need their money. Why do you come and carry that? I will see or tell you that other side or tell your man. that government that you say yeah your way again. You're your official there. You will be confused. Do you pay our law? You cry. The thing what your promise say oh you're not giving to us. So we cry our go see our heart. Thank you, my son, their money. Thank you. Say Abu.
All right, my best. It raining to your place, eh? It raining to your area, eh?
Yeah, it raining. I said inside.
Oh, okay. Yeah, stay inside. Oh, don't come outside. Outside cool.
Yeah, they play go. They play one get go. What I get money go hospital 2 hours now. Go hospital. I get 2 hours now. I want to the better one. I get. What's the better one to be maybe that two will be inside. One time. So I would say I thought I also said that's the better there.
Oh, so how you know now the people when you go you gotta get $200? How you know that one?
We are going to have to get for that. They get money, hospital get money to pay that outside body they want.
Oh, well, what time so? At what time?
I think we all are asking what I made mistake.
Oh, the woman deliver outside?
Yeah. I get already. They
oh.
But we are outside. But we such a man there. So we can see the woman there. But me and I can't go there.
Oh, okay, yeah. We know about that. Yeah.
I mean, they say.
Yeah, all right. All right, my busy.
I got that message. That's the bad. That one that we are.
Okay. All right.
So they can come take it from there. You order medicine. Well, we get to go hospital to take it there.
That tomorrow, your fellow women going to protest against drugs, though. You going there?
I get to go there. The people say, why the children coming to kill for the drug? Let us go there. They will not want to we are open the drug. So that we have that problem. They don't go over here. We have go over here for the approval. I go over here for our grandchildren.
All right, my busy. Okay, yeah, that's true. Don't go there. All right. Thank you, my busy. Thank you. Just few calls, and then we are out for today. And let's talk about it as we talk about the issues unfolding. Yes. Just few minutes to go. Let's use those few minutes to read and recognize those of you who have been following online. Vinicius Bar, Newcretown, Oscar Ziombien, Nima County, Ibrahim Addison, Caldwell, Morris Kemokai, New Jersey, the new USA, Atita Sheehan, Helenon Camara, West Point, Jackson C. Ponin, Iron Factory Block 13, Junior Bondo, Samuel Doe, Maybon Stoner, Sussex, Josiah Masale, Pinsville, Red Light, Kuku Pay, Kevin Soko, USA. Hello. You want off, sir? Princess Mulba, Rita Hart, Massachusetts, USA, Fofana King, Patricia Brown, Rehab, ELWA Community, Abeningo Bassi, Kesselly Boulevard, Fofana King, Matthew Down, Gbengba Town, Robert Field Highway, Jean Maboro, Precious Dekukai, Tinkers Village, Sawyer Beach Community, Helena Wilson, Paris Slobot, New Jersey, USA, Ophelia Wooler, West Point, Malu Fofana, 20th Street, Fatu Conan, Magibi County, Daniel Wisse, Fish Market, Jefferson Wool, Zoe Diamond, Jensen, Edwin Quingba, Lauren Platt, Tokpa, Ansu, that's Amadou Kamara, and the names are just running down. Thank you all. That's all the time we have to be on. Let's talk about it as we talk about it on Kings 88.5 FM. We are transmitting from Central Moravia, adjacent the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, LWSC, situated between Randa and Front Streets. We are back tomorrow. That's when Israel Ball we are seeing, your usual presenter, is in when he recovers from under the weather, not faring well. I had to say it in. Thank you so much, all of you. We are back, but that will be this afternoon at 3 when we go Real Talk. Until then, have a nice day.
From the latest news to your favorite tunes, we've got your back morning, night, and afternoon. Join our family, connect with your crew. Kings FM 88.5, just for you.
Tago no power better. Tago no power better. Tago no power better. Tago no power better. For malaria, typhoid infection, diabetes, and man.